All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Kelsa, and I am a veteran financial coach, been a financial coach for over 10 years now. And I love helping people better manage their day-to-day finances. And I love sharing how best to do that for other financial coaches too, so that we together can change the world. If you are catching this video inside of our private Facebook group, hello, financial coaches. It's so good to see you. I'm sorry for the tech issues and that you are getting a recorded version versus a live version. If you're catching this video anyplace else, please join us in our Facebook group specifically for financial coaches or aspiring financial coaches. The name of the group is Financial Coaches Unite, and we would love to have you in there. So request to join. It is a really collaborative, supportive group of financial coaches and aspiring coaches where we share ideas, troubleshoot problems that clients might be facing, and overall try to get better results in our world around money. So we get a lot of questions from coaches about the best way to market their business, and there's lots of different ways you could choose to do that. So you could do referral marketing, you could do Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, drip campaigns, your newsletter, the list is pretty much endless. And one of the things that I personally don't do with my business is YouTube. So one of the things I learned really early on with entrepreneurship, if you don't know the answer, find somebody who does. And so I have Brittany Waters here with us, and she's going to talk to us about her YouTube channel, how she got it started, and how she uses it in her business. Please share with everybody a little bit about yourself to start, Brittany.
So hello, my name is Brittany, and I am a Canadian financial coach. I've been doing that for about a year and a half now, maybe, but I've only had the YouTube channel probably less than a year. I started in January, and it's November now that it's October, geez, it's not November.
I know, I can't keep track either. It's okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, and I actually do have to tell a little story at the beginning here because you mentioned the Facebook group. The challenge that you ran for financial coaches in that group is how I started and kind of got my stuff together to be able to start the YouTube channel. So thank you to your Facebook group.
Yay! I'm so glad. Yeah, so the challenge, just so people know, is like really meant to get you to step outside your comfort zone, maybe do the things that we've been dreading, because let's be honest, there's always things we kind of dread, the things we find super easy and effortless that maybe we're naturally good at, and then there are the things that we just maybe put off or we dread. And sometimes like launching something new, we know it's going to be hard work at first. We know it's going to be worth it, or it has the potential to be worth it, but that first step into launching something can be hard. So it's meant to get the ball rolling. So I'm so glad that you took it, because the challenge is just there to encourage it, but you actually did it. So I'm super, super proud of you and excited for you. So
yeah, it was great.
Good. So you're in Canada. You've been a financial coach for a little over a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
so I'm in Toronto. Yeah.
Yes. And I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but what is one of your favorite things about financial coaching?
Oh, that's a good question. I think, I don't know, kind of always my thing, and like my tagline, if you watch any of my YouTube videos, is like taking the fear out of finance. Because when I was growing up, I was not a numbers person at all. And I think for me, the best part about financial coaching is just proving that numbers aren't scary, and like that it can be easy, and that it can be creative, and you can bring in kind of your own personality into it, and that kind of breaking down those barriers, I guess, is what my favorite thing is.
And your YouTube channel, will provide this like in the notes and stuff, but is Ready Set Life.
Yeah.
Right.
Ready Set Life. Yeah.
And that is also like readysetlifecoach.com is the website where you coach. And I hope people will take a look at it. I hope, I encourage them to take a look at the website, subscribe to the YouTube channel. The branding behind it is beautiful. I know I've told you this is why I asked to interview you, is because I love the content. I love how valuable the content is. It's really useful, practical, good information, but it's also delivered in a really, I will say, playful way, in the sense that like you're not taking yourself so seriously, which I can really appreciate. It's not stuffy or sterile or anything like that. I love the facial expressions you have on all the thumbnails on your website. I just find it to be both professional and also really approachable and fun. And so kudos to you for finding that balance, because it's not always easy to like strike that balance. But I want to encourage people to take a look at it. So, so you got started with YouTube because of the challenge, but I'm curious, how did you decide YouTube was going to be your platform?
Yeah, so I've always kind of been drawn to video. That's how I consume most of my content. And I think for me, like going through my own financial journey, I was looking for that content a little bit. And there's not many channels that are playful, that are fun, that are kind of like geared towards like a younger audience. So I thought that, you know, I could make that. And I've always been interested in making videos myself. So in like high school, I used to make like projects to do with that was kind of my creative outlet, was to make a video on things, and I wasn't very good at it, but you know, I enjoyed the process of it. So I decided to kind of translate that into a YouTube channel and just see if I could do it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you've done it, that's for sure. So, and it looks really good. So let's start, you know, this is going to be sort of like how to get started. Here's a beginner's guide to YouTube for those financial coaches who maybe think YouTube or video is a great avenue for them to explore. And so let's just dive into some general YouTube information. Like, why should someone choose YouTube or consider it? What are some of the pros and cons of it?
Yeah, so there are a lot of pros to YouTube. Number one is that it's a search engine. So you're able to kind of gear your videos towards what someone is searching. And I find that I can link it more directly to ideal clients than, say, like an Instagram post where not everybody follows hashtags, or like when they're looking for hashtag, they're not looking for like how to budget, versus YouTube, they'll type that in the search bar and get the video that you actually have. So that's a pro of it, is you can kind of like gear that towards there. And then also it's a visual platform as well. So I think video is where things are kind of headed towards. Not that blogs are dead or anything like that, but I think that the like being able to see and hear people comes off a lot easier, and you're able to explain things a little bit better than you would, say, in a written format or something like that. So
yeah, and that's where I think my awareness is simply as a user. So like I do use YouTube. I'll search in YouTube like how to do something, and I love it for that reason. I don't know why I've never thought, well, probably because I'm a little old school sometimes as far as like creating a channel, but I could totally see why from a budgeting standpoint or a visual standpoint, it can be really helpful for people to see, but also hear the different advice that they're learning about money. So I think that that is so true.
Yeah. And then on top of that, your videos, the content that you create, lasts a lot longer on YouTube. So for Instagram, it might take, 24 hours that your post is up, or for like Twitter, it's like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something ridiculous. Like it's short time frames, whereas a YouTube video could last for years, really. And you can kind of get, the algorithm might refresh or something, and how to budget, and people will be typing that in. It might be a video that you've made like 3 years ago that's still getting people to come to your content and to your channel.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that. What are some of the cons or pitfalls of doing YouTube?
Yeah. So the con is that it takes a long time. It probably takes me about 10 hours to make one video. And that's, if you're making videos consistently, that's potentially, 10 hours a week that you're spending on video. And again, the content lives a lot longer, so that kind of balances out. But if you have a really, like a lot of clients or something like that, where you don't have time to spend that amount of time on marketing, then maybe that's not the correct platform for you, I guess.
Yeah, I could see that. And I think the purpose of YouTube is very much to search educational content or how-to videos, which I think is also a really good complement or marriage to personal finance.
Yeah.
So I do think
exactly.
they go really well together.
Yeah.
How is it different from other social media?
So the content lives a lot longer than others. And then also that being searchable content. And I think, I don't know, for me, I can wrap my mind around more being able to actually title a video a certain way to get the correct person to like watch it, I guess, versus an Instagram post or a Twitter thing or something. You're kind of, you have less control over that. And I'm a type A, like control kind of person. So
yeah. And because in a YouTube video, like when it comes to search, I mean, I feel like we've probably all been in a Facebook group before, and you go to the left side where you can search the group and you type in a word and you're like, I know that there's a conversation with this word in it and it is not coming up, right?
yeah.
But I feel like YouTube doesn't seem to have that big of a problem with that, or it tends to be just a much easier search function. And you can search the title, you can search like the description too as part of the search, or is it just the title in YouTube?
Yeah, so I don't 100% know how, like, the mysteries of the algorithm,
Okay.
but from my understanding, the way that YouTube ranks things, and remember that YouTube is kind of a subsidiary of Google, so they're the same they're the same company and probably are using the same algorithms. So that's why the search is probably better than it is on like other social platforms. But it searches the title first, because obviously it's saying that that's the most important thing, I guess. But then it also looks in the description to see if you've kind of used those same similar words. And then also it looks through the tags. So tags are something that are different than the description. And if you tag it in a certain way that matches those description and that title, all three of those matching together will make sense in your video. I've also heard that it's like listening to what you say as well. So like it'll come out with closed captions. And so if you can upload your own closed captions to like make them correct, but also YouTube will be like reading those, of hearing what you say and adding that into where the algorithm is as well.
Got it. Okay. Very cool. Okay. All right. So how should somebody get started, or what are some of the basic steps of getting started once you know that you want to delve into YouTube?
Yeah. So how you get started, I think, would be kind of planning, and maybe this is just I like to plan kind of thing, but that's how I got started. You want to figure out kind of the vibe of your channel, or like what you want your channel to be about. So is it going to be like how-to videos, or is it going to talk more about like mindset of money, or like what are your kind of things that you're going to talk about? Or you can do interviews like that as well. So like we might post this on YouTube. Would be a perfect YouTube video. But you want to kind of decide that before, so that your channel has a direction. Yeah.
And I wrote down vibe. I wrote down vibe of the channel, because I do love, like, do you want it to be more long form, or do you want it to be more edited? Do you want it to be more raw? Do you want it to be more fly, on the fly type videos, or do you want it to be more structured, sit down, more specific training type? So I think it's really thinking through a lot of those is really key. So I'm glad. And then also, like, do you want it to be more playful, or do you want it to be more serious, or a combination of the two? And I think that's a really great.
And all of those things will factor into who's attracted to that video and who's attracted to that channel. And again, it's that like ideal client thing. Like, you don't want to be kind of casting your net and being super random on your channel with all these sorts of things, because then you're not going to be attracting anybody.
Right.
Or like the right person for your specific person, I guess.
Yeah, got it. Okay. And then so you kind of have an idea, and then what would you do next? You're like, okay, here's kind of what I want the purpose of it to be. Here's who I want to serve, and here's the vibe of it. And then what?
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention is how consistent you're going to be with your videos as well. So you want to figure out how many videos you're going to make in a month, for example. Are you going to make a video once a week, which is like the norm, or are you going to make a video once a month, or like bi-weekly, or whatever you're going to do? And then once you have all that kind of settled, or at least an idea of that, because you can kind of learn and go along as you'll find your personality as you make more videos. Then you want to actually plan the videos that you're going to make. So for me, I make a video once weekly. So I usually do 4 videos a month. Okay. And can we go into the step-by-step now, I guess?
Well, so do you make a list first of like all the ideas for videos that you have, right? Because you were saying you have so many good videos, and you must have someplace where like an idea sparks, or you spark an idea and you're like, oh, I'm going to add that to my list and I'll get to it at some point, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad you said that, actually. So I have a huge Excel with many different things on it. So anytime I come across an idea from like a Facebook group that I'm in, or if I see like another coach has a great idea and I'm like, oh, that's a really cool like blog post, I bet I could make a video that's like similar. Or if you know, somebody else has a really great YouTube channel, I'm going through their channel to see what videos are the most popular on theirs and like maybe making something that's similar to that. I'm doing a lot of research on what's popular and what other people might be looking for in this space. And then I'm putting that on that Excel so that when I go to choose which videos I'm going to make, I have a huge list of ideas to go off of.
And I would think too, like maybe even looking at the questions you get from clients consistently. Yes. And it's like, hey, instead of taking the time to answer that, it's like, I've actually got a video that I can just share with you and we can use your time for something else versus, you know, taking the time where you can just watch that video sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've done that a couple times where somebody will, I think I had a question on like credit scores or something and I already had a video on it. So I said, you know what, like just watch this, like here's your homework is watch this video that I did on that.
That's awesome. Oh my God. What a great way to like leverage your time too. Now, granted, I know a lot of time goes into each video, but it's going to be, you know, it's going to have multiple purposes by doing it that way. So awesome. Okay. So I wanted to, and I'm excited about this next part, is do like a day in the life of Brittany with her YouTube channel. So I want to go through and step by step, start to finish, how does an episode come together on your YouTube channel and how are you spending your time and that sort of thing?
Yeah. So the first thing that I usually do is pick ideas off of that I'll open up that Excel and kind of, you know, go with whatever speaks to me or like just kind of think of what I want to do. Then I go into the research. So that's probably the most important, like foundational work of the actual YouTube channel, which is kind of, I don't know, people would think like, oh, making the video is, but it's actually in order to get ranked in the algorithm, I guess, it's that SEO or search engine optimization is really important. So you're going to want to figure out what specific title is actually going to rank. And what I usually do is I research for the whole month. So I'll have my 4 video titles. And what I do is I have a tool called Keywords Everywhere. Okay. And that will tell you the search volume for certain keywords. So I'll type in like how to budget and it'll say, oh, that's searched 240 times a month. It's definitely not because that's a search a lot more than that. But as an example, it'll tell me that. And then I'll say, okay, well, that's great. That isn't searched enough that there's too many searches and I won't really get the traffic that I'm looking for, but it's a perfect amount that it's small enough that I might actually get picked out of the options. And then what I go over to TubeBuddy. And TubeBuddy is another tool that I use and it's a plugin for YouTube. So that will tell me how many videos are actually on that topic in YouTube. Mm-hmm. And combining those things, I will actually understand what to actually title that video so that I get ranked. Does that make sense?
Yes. So, and during the research phase, is it simply researching for SEO sake and keywords and that kind of thing? Or is it also researching the content and like you're educating yourself at that time about the actual material that you're going to be teaching on?
Right at this point, I'm just researching for the actual like title and the tags that I'm going to use. Okay. The other research, content research happens much later.
Right, because the title, I guess, maybe sort of directs the focus you're going to take with the content.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, so then you do that, and you said that you do all of your research, so you pick like 4 videos for the month, and you're like, here's the 4 I'm going to do, so I'm going to do all of my research for all 4 videos at one time.
Yes. And during that phase, what I'm actually doing is I have kind of a template that I go off of that I call my like SEO brief. And I actually decide what the title is going to be. I decide what the tags are going to be, and I decide what that description is going to look like.
Got it.
And then by the time I actually go to write that script for that video, I have all that information there. So when I go to post, I can just easily post it instead of having to go through it again.
And that, just as a kind of a side note, is called batching your effort and batching your work, which I do consider to be really valuable. I want to get better at this with our podcast episodes. I usually will batch like 2 at a time, and I would love to have like one whole day where I batch like 4 podcast episodes. Of course, it takes time to transition your calendar over. When you make a change, it's like you've got appointments scheduled or something, you have to let those filter through. But I love that you're doing that. You know, batching your effort, using that form of your brain all in one long sitting is like actually so much better and a more productive use of time than keep going back to it every time you need to do it. So great. Exactly, so you've got all the keywords figured out, you've got the description, and you've got the title. and you've got your SEO brief, which I love that name. And then what do you do?
And then it comes time to research the content and actually write the script. So this is probably where the bulk of my time is spent. And usually it's because I'm researching a topic that I might not know all the details that I want to include in the video on there. So I'm usually researching, like, I don't know, stats on something, or just from what other people have said, or things like that, just questions that I have about it. And then I'm writing a script.
Got it.
And I script all my videos because I want them to be detailed. And I'm not very good at like going right off the cuff. It would take way too long. So I want to actually like put it into a concise format. Some people don't script their videos, or they'll make like point forms because it takes longer to script. And some people are good at kind of like ad-libbing it. But I like to script my videos.
And you gave me the analogy where you said this is essentially like writing a blog post for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So it's like putting it into written form, what it is that you want to say. And then your average video is about 10 minutes, you were saying, right?
I would say like from like 6 to 10 minutes. I actually just edited a video this afternoon, and it ended up being 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So yeah.
Got it. Great. I mean, so this is where these don't have to be hour-long videos by any means that we're talking about. A person could decide to go that route if they really wanted to, but they don't have to. Okay. And I think you had kind of, talked me through some of the ways that you do this. So you were like the outline, so the hook, and then the intro, and then sort of like the meat and potatoes, so the main content piece. And then the last component, the next component is call to action. So like comment on this, or download this, or here's a freebie, or whatever. And then the close. And give me an example of what a good close is for a YouTube video.
So something like this video if you liked it. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, ring that notification bell and subscribe so that you don't miss any of my new videos. I post every Thursday, and I've got some great stuff coming up, so don't miss out.
Perfect. I love that. So well done. Yes. So the hook, I'm just going to say these one more time. So the hook, then the intro, then the content, the call to action, and then the close. So 5 key components of every video.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. And people can go and watch this in action on your YouTube channel, because every video you've done this so well. It's really well done. So tell me about like the ads, or you were saying the ads like 10-minute videos. I'm not sure I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so YouTube likes to have longer videos because they've had this new thing come out or I don't know if it's new actually, but they allow more than one ad on a video that's longer than 10 minutes. So like 10:01, and then therefore you can put 2 ads in it. And whether that's putting an ad at the beginning, or putting an ad at the end, or in the middle, or wherever you choose to put it, you can put multiple ads in there. Versus if it's less than 10 minutes, then you can only put an ad at the beginning. And of course, YouTube wants more money, so it pushes YouTube's or videos that are longer than 10 minutes.
Got it. Okay. And you typically will write, so you batch the research phase as far as SEO. Do you batch the writing of the script writing as well?
I attempt to. I have kind of gotten into this point of I can at least do 2 at once, but it's usually like one day of writing, another day of writing, and then when I'm filming 2.
Got it. I think you were saying that it takes about 2 hours of research and script writing per.
Yeah, so it takes about 3 hours of research, and then 2 hours of like actual writing, and however that kind of blocks out, but I'm like spending an afternoon of my day on that whole thing.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, good. Okay. So then anything else about script writing? Anything else that you, your day in the life of?
No, I don't think so. One thing that I do want to mention here is that a lot of the stuff that I'm saying, I didn't actually learn myself. Well, I mean, I did learn myself, but I didn't like make it up. So that like script outline that I have is actually someone called Sunny Lenarduzzi. She's like a YouTube guru kind of thing. And I actually took her course, YouTube for Bosses. So a lot of this information and like all the details, like if you wanted to learn more about it, follow her YouTube channel, has a lot of free information on it. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't my idea to like script it out like that. It's kind of a template that she came up with. And
yeah, thank you for, giving credit. I think that that's super important. And I think, along that same token, like if a financial coach is learning from your videos themselves so that they can be more well-informed for their clients, like give credit too, right? I mean, I think that that's only fair that we all sort of learn from each other, and that's the way the world works sometimes. So if you could message me her YouTube channel or something, and we'll post a link in the show notes and that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's on that document actually.
Oh, perfect. Oh, good. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I think with your script, you write it one day, you tend to rewrite or do an edit the following day, right? So, which I think is just kind of writing 101, where you kind of sleep on it overnight and then reread it just to make sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always doing editing, and I'm also always saying it out loud. Number one, to time, just to say, if this is too short or if this is too long, and then also to see how easily it flows from me. So I'm like, actually, I'm reading it really, because I'm using a teleprompter actually when I'm filming, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to make it natural. I want to make sure that it sounds like something I would actually say.
Beautiful. Yes. Okay. So then it comes time to filming. So you've spent time doing the SEO that's taken you about 3 hours. You've batched that. You've now have spent about 2 days maybe of writing all the 4 videos and the scripts for those, and rewriting and reading them out loud. And then the next day you spend time filming the videos, and talk me through that process.
Yeah, so basically I sit down. I actually film with my iPhone. I have an iPhone 8 Plus, and I have an app that I use called the Teleprompter app, and Kelsa will leave that link there because I gave it to her. And it's pretty easy from there. I just kind of let it run and import the script and say what's on there. I always make one big long video, so it might be a 17-minute video or a 20-minute video, but I'll cut out all the things when I'm editing. So I don't worry about if I mess up. I'll just scroll right back and say the point again that I actually need to make.
Got it. Okay. And so logistically speaking, I feel like I need a visual, but just explain it to me. So you have some sort of holder, I would assume, for your phone.
I have a tripod. It's actually right here. I just filmed a video today. That's why all the stuff is here.
Perfect. Well, I love your background and everything, and your fearless finance in the corner. So, okay, so you have that, and you have your phone on it, and it's recording you, but what you're seeing is the teleprompter. So it's filming you, but you're not actually seeing yourself back, or you are seeing yourself at the same time?
You actually do see yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm filming, it's filming with the front camera, so you can see yourself just like we would be here, but maybe over on the side, there'll be a bunch of words. And it's close enough to the actual camera that it doesn't look like I'm reading off of anything. But if you actually do look and you know that I'm reading off a teleprompter, you'll notice that my eyeballs are a little bit off to the side.
Yeah. And are you, no one notices. Is the teleprompter app a free app, do you know, or is it a paid app?
So I use the free version of it, and that's actually, fun fact, why there's actually a logo on the bottom of my thing. It's because that's where the teleprompter watermark is, and I'm covering that up. But it's only $10, and I don't think that's a repeating cost. So if I was not cheap, I'd just pay the $10 and get rid of that. But I haven't done it yet.
Found a workaround. You've been creative. You're a creative problem solver. So you saved yourself $10. I can't hate on a budgeting coach for that, right? Okay, so you film all of them. So you might have if you're filming 4 videos, you would have 4 separate video files on your phone after that. And some of they might be longer because you're going to go and slice and dice them a little bit, but you would have 4 files, not one long one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would have 4 files. Every time I stop a script, then I have to reload a new script to get the new video in there. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So you've got the 4 videos filmed, and then what do you do?
I actually forgot to mention one more thing.
Oh, yeah,
I'm actually filming 2 videos. So one of the videos is the actual content of the video with the script rolling, but then the other thing that I'm filming is the actual thumbnails. So I'm sitting there for 30 seconds with an item or something being and just pausing and looking at the camera so that when I go back, it's a 30-second video, but I'm scrubbing through and seeing like what I can cut out to do that.
And they're so cute. Honestly, I don't know. I don't care how you do them. They're adorable. Like they're eye catchy. They look approachable and fun, and they're just so well done. So kudos to you. All right. So you've got the two different sort of sections of the video for each one. And then, do you record any other videos at that time? Because I think you also like put stuff on Instagram or all of that, but at that time you're just doing
so I do post things on Instagram, but it's teasers that I've made from the content that I've just filmed.
Got it. Okay, cool. So there's nothing additional. Okay, so then it comes time to edit those videos, right? Yes. Okay, so walk us through that process.
So I use iMovie, which is probably like the easiest editing software ever. It just comes on my Mac. And I'm inputting the video. Actually, I do it twice. I input the video, put the watermark on there, and then export it, because iMovie, you can only have one image on top of the video. So if I want to put any inserts on there, I want to make sure that the watermark is always covered. So I'm like making a draft of the video before I actually edit the real video.
Ooh, that's a really good time saving tip right there. That's smart. Yeah. Smart.
Okay. So now I have my draft video with the watermark on there covered, and then I'm redoing that to actually edit the full video. So I'm basically going through and maybe cutting out the silences or the places that I've messed up. And usually it's a pretty quick process from that on. Probably takes me 2 or 3 hours to edit a full video. And that's with collecting all of the what's called B-roll, if there's any inserts or anything like that that I'm putting in there. That usually takes about 3 hours.
3 hours per video. Okay. Yeah. And what would you say, do you remember how long it took you, your first couple of videos? So it takes you 3 hours now per video. Any idea, when you first started, how many hours it probably took you to edit a video? I feel like whenever we're learning something new, or everything takes longer, we're not super fast at it, it's clunky. And do you know by any chance? Yeah. It's okay. I didn't tell you I was going to ask. So.
No, that's fine. I'm trying to think, because I think I've kind of maybe always been that fast, maybe 4 hours or something, but it's because I had experience from before. So I actually had I did weird vlogs when my family went on vacation and stuff like that. Yeah. So I actually did have some experience before I did this. So I knew basically the shortcuts and things like that.
Yeah. But you weren't brand new too.
Exactly. Yeah. I wasn't brand new. I wasn't Googling how to do certain things or anything. Yeah.
Like I would be. Okay. Good to know. Okay. Let's just be clear.
So I do sometimes Google things. I don't know, but
I would go to YouTube and I would say how to edit this video, so
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So you removed spaces, and then some times where you've messed up, maybe, you also add things into the video. And are those things that you just have saved someplace and they're always the same, or how do you add in intros and stuff for those? You were recording those separately?
Yeah, so it depends. For intros and transitions, it's the same. So I have basically a 5-second clip that I kind of made as an intro clip, and then I'm just inserting that every time. And then there's also a transition clip, which is basically a clip that I made that's blank. And then when I'm editing, I actually insert that clip and then also put text on top of it.
Got it.
It'll be a title slide or something like that.
Title slide. That's perfect. Yes. Okay. Got it. We got to talk about old school terms for me. So, title slide. I can understand. Okay. Just kidding. Okay. And then, creating the trailer clips. You do that as well during the editing process.
Yeah. During the editing process. So usually I'll make the full video. I'll edit the whole thing how I want it to actually appear on YouTube. Then I'll export that. And then I'll make that promo from the thing that I've already edited, because I don't want to mess it up or anything. And usually I'm not playing around too much. I don't know, a trailer is usually taking different parts from maybe the beginning of the video or the end of the video. Usually I'll just pick an important point or something that I think is cool, and then I'll export that part of it. Just make sure it's 15 seconds, and 15 seconds of video, there's not a lot of time to make anything fancy. So I'm not doing anything fancy with it.
I'm sensing that as you do this, you really are very good at it, but you're also very efficient and decisive, which I think is really important. So you're not humming and hawing over like, is this 10-second clip better than this 10-second clip? Or like, it's almost like you're just like, pick one and kind of move on sort of thing. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is something that I've kind of had to develop over time, right?
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I remember talking about making my YouTube channel in the group, and I had made my first YouTube video at that time, and that I filmed like 3 times, and because I wasn't happy with the lighting, or like I wasn't happy with what I said or whatever. And I remember like at the beginning I used to edit, and that used to be a thing for me, is where I would say like, oh, I didn't really say that well, and I wish I would have like said it differently. Whereas now I'm like, okay, you said it, it's fine, it gets the point across, you don't need to make it perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad to sort of, observe that, and then also just talk about it for a split second, because it is something that I think with experience, you start to realize that nobody else notices those things like you will notice them. So to invest that much time or energy into small tweaks just ends up not feeling necessary after a while, but it's almost like a rite of passage in some sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then if you spend too much time on those things, then you don't have time for anything else. So you kind of have to learn to get, like, you're already spending so much time on this video, you have to do other things in your business.
Yes. Okay, so you've got anything else as part of the editing process?
No, I think that's good. The only other thing I do is because I send out an email, and I usually include like a GIF in that email, or a GIF, whatever you decide to call it. But
I don't know, but I love them. I love GIFs. I love posting them, but I don't know how to say it. But and so you make that in iMovie too?
So the way that I've been doing it, you can't really make GIFs, or the way that I make them, you can't make them with a private video. So sometimes I'm making videos so far in advance that I'm scheduling them on my YouTube, but they're not yet public. So in order to make those GIFs, I'm making smaller videos of like the actual thing that I want, and then I'll make a GIF out of that.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds confusing, but I will also say that if a person doesn't do a GIF for a little while, it's fine, right?
This is literally something I just started like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, 6-7 months into the channel, so don't worry about it. It's totally an extra thing.
Right. Okay. So then it comes time, you've exported the video from iMovie, it's all edited, it's beautiful and glorious, and then you publish the video to YouTube. So any tips, or what are the steps behind that?
So what I'm doing is, so it takes a while to upload. So what I usually do is like, I'll set it to upload, and then I'll go do something else. But while you're uploading, you can do things like insert the description. So then I'm going way back to that form that I had before, that SEO brief, and taking all the content from there, all the different tags, all the titles and all that, and inserting it into what I want to be on the YouTube video. And then I'm also taking that thumbnail that I made. So usually during the editing process, I'll take the screenshot of what I went like weird with and like make I use Crello, which is pretty much exactly like Canva, except it's just free. There's different free things in there. So I use that. I'm uploading that image at that time as well. Mm-hmm. And then when it's actually uploaded, then you can insert different things like end screens. So if you're at the end of a YouTube video, there's things that you can click on. They're called like annotations or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there's like subscribe buttons that people put at the end of their videos. I'm inserting all of that before it goes live as well.
And so for each video, you have to like choose what you want to go in those sections every single time. It's not like you can just have one, like here's the subscribe button that it defaults to every time or something like that.
Kind of. So the tool that I talked about before, TubeBuddy, if you buy the premium version of it, which I have, there is a template that you can kind of set. So if your videos look the same every time, just set that template, and it's super easy. Great. And then you don't have to like choose it individually, even if you're not using TubeBuddy. Like you can just say to YouTube, like, put my best video here. It's not necessarily like, oh, put this specific video in this place, and this specific video on the other place, if that makes sense.
Yes, no, it totally does. So I want to recap really quickly. So we've got the research phase of SEO and all of that. And so for the month, it takes you about 3 hours. Then you are writing the script, and that takes you about 2 hours per video.
Yes.
Right. And then we have you actually like filming the video. And how long, I think you had said, what is it, 20 minutes or so per, maybe 30, kind of depends probably on how natural it's feeling, 20 or 30 minutes per video.
Yeah.
And then editing, you said, takes about 3 hours.
3 hours, yeah.
Per video.
Yeah.
Okay. And then publishing it is maybe not that long, except for how long it just takes to buffer, upload, or whatever. Because I know we do that too. Sometimes we have to upload it for the Academy, right? Like it houses all of the Academy videos. And so you just kind of drag and drop and then you walk away. Just wait for it to upload.
Pretty much, yeah. For the actual like uploading the video doesn't actually take that long because I've already made the brief that actually tells me what I'm going to put in there anyway. So I'm literally just copy pasting. I'm not thinking about it.
Got it. Okay. So and then it comes time. So now you've got the video out there. And do you publish them right away? Do you schedule them out? What do you typically do?
So if I've batched correctly or if I've like bulk done it correctly, then hopefully I have things scheduled in advance.
Perfect.
And usually I have at least like 1 or 2 scheduled in advance, but hit and miss. But then they'll go live on the time that I want them to go live. But in terms of like promotion and things like that, I'm also doing that behind the scenes. So hopefully I have them scheduled, which means I'll actually have time to put things like a trailer on my Instagram or like use that little feature, that countdown feature, if that makes sense, on my story or something like that to let people know like, oh, here it's coming up. Like this is because nobody else knows the background of it, right? So I have my videos planned like through November, but my audience doesn't actually know that, this week's video is going to be this book review or whatever. So I'm letting them know, like announcing that kind of thing.
Beautiful. Okay. And so marketing the video, you've got, I feel like this is where I could see, you've put in all this work, and where somebody could really fall short is that then they're like, oh, if I just publish it, people will come to it and view it. And it's like, actually, you still have quite a bit of work to do yet to get the word out there, market the video, and that kind of thing.
Yes.
Right.
And that's actually one of the most important parts because YouTube really cares about the first 24 hours. So you're really trying to get as many views as you can, as many clicks on that video as you can within that 24 hours, because that will determine where you actually rank in the algorithm for the rest of the time. Yeah.
Got it. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. I've decided. So everyone's going to learn as we go that we are totally just flying by the seat of our pants here. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. We're going to promote the heck out of it. We're going to see how many hits it gets in the first 24 hours. I have no idea because we're not a big YouTube person, but I'm just curious. I want to see. Okay. So we're going to upload this video right here to YouTube. Okay. And then we'll share it in Financial Coaches Unite and see how many coaches we can get to watch it.
Okay.
Okay, so you send out an email every week. Your prospective clients or clients get an email that says there's a new video, new lesson. Do you call it a video, or do you call it like a new lesson or new topic or new material?
So usually with the email, I try and make it a little bit, I don't know. I don't want to make it like a newsletter kind of thing, which that's kind of what it is, but I try and make it a little more dynamic than that. So the title will be something like, I don't know, one time I overdrafted my account or something like that. And then I'll tell like a personal story about how I was bad with money. And then I'll say like, if you want to know more information, this video just went up on my YouTube channel. Here, click here.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah. Okay. And then you also do a Instagram story.
Yeah.
And trailer clips marketed. So you take all the little trailers and probably post it on Facebook or
So I don't usually post the trailers on Facebook, although that might be an interesting thing to do. I probably might do that later. But I do actually for sure post like the thumbnail usually on Facebook and like try and drive all the traffic to that YouTube video. And for Instagram, I'm actually usually posting like 1 or 2 stories at least. So I'm posting that trailer that I made up, and then also like maybe the thumbnail with like, oh, new video now, but I'm posting them at different times. So when stories come up, you'll see that little fill in, the little profile picture fills in. And then if you watch that story, then it kind of disappears.
Yep.
But then like 3 hours later, if that person posts another thing, Instagram's like, oh, you watched that 3 hours ago and you interacted with it, so we're going to show you that again. So just in case, you know, you want to keep at the top of that little algorithm the whole time.
Beautiful. Good. Okay. So any other ways that you market? I mean, that's a lot. You do a lot. So I'm just asking if there's anything that I'm missing.
So I actually put out a blog post.
Okay, good. No, smart.
Yeah, usually it's after the video's gone out. So I'm kind of like behind on my blog posts a little bit, which actually works out well, because if you're following me quite I don't know, I don't want to say like religiously, but like all the time, then you'll kind of be bombarded by this whole thing. But usually about 2 weeks after the YouTube video goes out, I will rework the script and have it actually posted on my blog as an actual like blog post as well.
Okay, so I'm curious, because we didn't talk about this in prepping. So when you say rework the script, what do you do to rework the script? Is it just small finesses, or is it like, it's not a total revamp?
No, it's
repurposing it for the most part.
Yeah, probably takes tops a half hour. Because I'm just taking out things that reference like visuals. So if I say like, if you look here, instead I'll say something in the post like, click this link to find whatever, or like
makes total sense.
Taking out the subscribe stuff and all of that.
Don't you wish, I feel like what you're describing, you know, one of the things we notice is we'll do a Facebook Live, and we'll also do a podcast episode for something, and they're very similar, but because one is visual and one is not, you really can't just take it, put it in one place, and then put it someplace else. Not if you're a perfectionist like us, right? Which is like, I don't like that. Or if I'm like, you know, let's say it's an Instagram and I'm saying something like, you know, DM me, right? Like it's not the same as Facebook. So it's just a little different. And I feel like I wish there was a way to just like, they were all the same, but it's just not the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little tweaks for sure. Okay. And then hopefully people are clicking on it, watching it, and commenting. So I will admit, I'm not a big commenter on YouTube videos. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but I'm not one to comment. But I think it's kind of important for the video or the publisher of the video, right? So maybe I'm going to try and rethink this, or if I like it, I might just say like, hey, great video or something, because comments are important, especially at first, from what I understand, right?
Yeah. So comments and like engagement in general. So if someone like clicks like on the video, or if someone clicks dislike on the video, like that doesn't count against you. It counts as the same like engagement.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it does. Yeah. So dislike my videos all you want, because it helps me.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it counts. They just blanket count it as engagement. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, those type of engagement pieces really help within the first 24 hours, and then also like later on. But what really helps is actually the watch time. So watch time, if you watch any kind of YouTube thing, they'll say, you know, watch time is king. And YouTube really cares about watch time. And what that means is the people are watching all the way through your video. So if it's a 10-minute video, if you only have people watch the first 3 minutes and then you get super boring and they click off, then that's going to count against you. You want them to watch as much as you can, as for as long as you can.
Is this, and I know that, you know, the algorithm is probably quite complex, so it's okay if you don't know the answer to this, but is it like a percentage? So if it's a 10-minute video and they watch 9 minutes of it, that's better than if it's a 40-minute video and they watch 9 minutes of it?
Probably, yeah. I would say probably, yeah. I think so. I don't really know how to answer that question, because obviously like I don't know, but also in terms of how we're taught, or like I've heard that you're supposed to look at your analytics, it is like, what's your watch time percentage? So that would work for that. Yeah. Yeah.
So percentages. Okay. I was just curious how they probably scored that or whatever, but interesting. Okay. So it almost makes sense to have some shorter videos, you know, because it could help with your percentage, I guess.
Yeah. So it would actually help with your percentage, but there's also another piece of it, is that monetization doesn't actually happen until you have 4,000 hours of watch time. So if you make longer videos, even if your watch time percentage isn't that great, you're still getting people watching like 20 minutes of a 40-minute video, and that would count towards your minutes of watch time.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Okay. And how, how active are you, or is commenting or engaging or answering questions as comments and that kind of thing? Like, what role do you play with that?
So especially during the beginning, like as soon as I post a video, if I get any comments within that, I'm going to be hearting the comment. I'm going to be liking the comment, kind of interacting with it or replying to it in any way that I can. Because again, that like boosts the engagement as well. And also it encourages them to also like reply to that. So I noticed that I said heart and like a comment. So those are different things. A like a comment is anybody can do that. And it doesn't really, unless the person has their notifications on, it doesn't really like cue them to that, that they've been liked. Versus a hearting a comment is only something that the actual video person, like the channel owner can do to that comment. So they'll be notified like, oh, the person that made this video likes your comment or like hearts your comment. So that's a little more special, I guess. So they might come back and say like, oh, thanks for liking my, or thanks for hearting my comment, or they'll like feel special, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you try to heart all of them, or then you're like, I don't want to heart all of them if it's just a neutral comment?
For now, I usually heart all of them, just because I don't really get a lot of comments. I usually maybe get like 3 or 4 on video, but as it goes further, I'm sure that I won't be able to do that for all of them. Yeah. So I don't know, I've seen other channels that are a lot larger will heart the things that, you know, they see or that they like actually like.
Yeah. No, totally. Anything else as far as, so you've done all the steps. So you've researched, you've written the script, you've filmed the video, you've edited the video, you've published the video, you've marketed it, and then you've engaged with it and with the people watching. Anything else from that part of your, you know, kind of how you spend your day kind of thing?
No, I think once that kind of goes, not that I'm like done with the video. I always go back and like check like where it ranks maybe in the YouTube algorithm, or like maybe I'll go back and see how many more like views that it's gotten or things like that, just to kind of check up on things. But I'm not normally doing anything else with the actual video from that point.
Got it. Okay, cool. So let's just recap some of the tools and the softwares that you are using. So you've got Keywords Everywhere. And what is that for again?
So Keywords Everywhere shows you the search volume of certain keywords, and it works for a lot of different websites, but I use it for Google and for YouTube specifically.
Got it. Okay.
So it's a little plugin that will basically have the little search volume. It'll put that underneath whatever you're searching for. And that actually recently changed to a paid thing. Because I guess they had a lot of bots, so they're trying to minimize that. And it's apparently super cheap. I've had all my research done. They just did this at the beginning of October. So I've had all my research done. I don't know how cheap it actually is, but I've heard that they're supposed to be less than $2 a month, which is pretty good for what you get actually. So yeah.
Great. Okay. And then TubeBuddy.
Yes. So TubeBuddy is another plugin, but that's specifically for YouTube. So it's a plugin that will tell you how many videos are actually on that platform underneath that thing. And it'll also give you a score for something that you put in. So it'll say like, this is only like 15% good versus like 75% good or something like that.
Got it. Teleprompter app. Is that the name of it? Teleprompter app?
Yeah. And like it sucks because there's like multiple teleprompter apps and they're all called the same thing, but I think it's the red one that I use. But
we'll link to it in the notes. So and then oh God, the name, I'm so sorry. Sunny
Lenarduzzi.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So she's kind of like a YouTube guru that is very popular on the platform and has a lot of a lot of really great advice in terms of her actual like free content that she gives out on her YouTube channel. And that's how I started my channel, and that's how I did my channel for a long time. And then actually just her course, as well as how I like learned the details of it, I guess, and kind of like stepped up the game after that.
Great. All right. So we're going to go over, and then we'll be wrapping up here soon. Just how do you build subscribers, converting subscribers, and then any just last minute sort of miscellaneous type things that don't really fit anyplace else. Okay. So let's talk about building subscribers. Why is that important, first of all? And how does somebody try and build subscribers?
So subscribers are people that get notified of your videos, or that maybe like comes up in your feed. So they're people that kind of are your fans, or they're interested in your content and they want to watch it over and over again. So of course you want that. It's like your followers. You want your video to be shown to more people, and you want people to watch it. So you want people to subscribe.
Yeah. And how do you go about sort of encouraging, I guess you said like the close is, hey, hit the subscribe button, or you're kind of that call to action is one way.
Yeah. So I usually call to action in my video, but then also like creating good content. I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen in a YouTube video like, oh, subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm like, nobody subscribes off of that. So subconsciously, maybe it helps for something. But I think making good content is kind of the I don't know, larger piece of that is to actually, yeah.
And I would think consistency is really important too. So if they don't know when to check back or when you're going to post or something like that, then they may end up not following. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have a banner, or walk me through the banner idea and how that helps subscribers.
Yeah, so on the channel, it's called channel art or channel banner art or something. And on there, you want to put like the day that you're going to post. If it's like weekly videos on this day, or like what your channel is about kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So that when people are actually, maybe they'll find a video, like a random video, and then they'll click to be like, oh, what's this person about? And then they'll go to your actual channel. And then from that banner, they'll see, oh, well, she posts every Thursday. So, I'm interested in what she posts. I'm going to subscribe to that.
Got it. Yeah, yours says videos every Thursday, and then it's got a link to your website and stuff, which is great. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. And so you've got subscribers, and we want to try and convert them, if you're a financial coach, maybe either to becoming a client, reaching out. Sometimes they're stalking because they are nervous about money. And in your case, it's fearless finance. So they might have some fear around money, and you want them to sort of make that initial reach out. What are some ways that you encourage the conversion?
Yeah, so usually what I mentioned that I'm a financial coach in every one of my videos, so they know that I'm a financial coach. And in the description of my videos, I'll have the work with me page or my website. So everything's kind of directed back there. So if they find that way, then they can contact me off there.
Awesome.
Or also, I'm always kind of, I don't know, I kind of think of it as the like mouth of that funnel. So they're finding, like, there's tons of people finding me from Googling whatever, or like searching on YouTube, whatever they're searching. And then in that video, I might say like, down below, I've made an additional resource. If you want to download that, like click the link down below, and then they'll be getting on my email list. And then from there, my email list, I'll actually be nurturing all those things, sending them out like weekly, my new videos, or if I ever want to like launch anything or like talk to them in that way, I have them.
So you're using it to help build your email list, which is then your audience. And, it makes total sense. So really letting them know, like inviting them to work with you, to take it a step further off of YouTube and actually go to your website, to know that you're not just a YouTube sensation. You have a business helping people outside of just YouTube. So I think all of those are really, they're subtle, and yet you really want to make sure you're not skipping them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Anything else about converting subscribers?
I don't think so.
Okay. I think that's
great.
If
anybody has any other questions, comment or whatever, and I'll look at them.
Yeah. And so let's just talk about just some miscellaneous things. Talk to me about like the milestones of subscribers. This is something that I totally learned new from talking with you. I did not know that this was a thing. So I was excited to learn it. I now understand a little bit better. So for those of the listeners that don't know, like me, what does it mean? What are the different milestones of a channel?
Yeah, so YouTube is kind of unique in that they have what's called the YouTube Partner Program. So it's not just a platform that you post things to. It's not just a social platform. YouTube is actually using that and like creating relationships with their creators. That is, there's a monetary thing involved. They're like not employees, but there's some sort of extra partnership program there. So with that, you get certain things. So if you have 100 subscribers, then you get a custom URL. So I have over 100 subscribers. I now have youtube.com/c/ready-set-life specifically, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like ABCUX, whatever.
Right.
Because that's hard to direct people to.
Yes, exactly.
And then there are other milestones like getting monetized. So to become part of that partnership program, to actually be able to put ads in your videos and then make money from those ads, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. And that all has to happen like within a year. So as long as you have 1,000 subscribers, it's fine, but you have to get 4,000 hours of watch time within a year, 12-month period, which is a little bit crazy, but people do it.
It sounds like a lot. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like, but you have it already, right? You were saying?
So I don't. I have 6,000 minutes of watch time.
Oh, minutes. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have 6,000
Yeah,
minutes.
so I'm
and you need
pretty
4,000
far away from it.
hours. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. I keep kind of like doing the calculations and being like, geez, I'm years away from this.
I would think too, like the more videos you put out there, the more opportunity there is in a given year for people to be watching your videos. Where if you have just 10 videos, I mean, you have to get all 4,000 hours over 10 videos, but every month you're adding 4 videos. So by the end of the year, like that's that many more opportunities for people to be tuning in.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like compound interest. It like builds on each other.
That was our financial coaching joke of the hour.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happens? What's the next milestone after that?
Oh, yes. So after that, then you kind of are part of the partner program. And then at a certain, like, I don't know, to kind of reward you for a certain amount of subscribers and things like that, then YouTube will do this like special thing. They're called YouTube play buttons, which is basically like a framed picture of the YouTube play button. And at different, I don't know them off the top of my head, so I'm going to have to look them up.
That's okay.
But yeah, at 100,000 subscribers, you get a silver one of those, and at 1 million, you get a gold one, and at 10 million, you get a diamond one. So if you're interested in those rewards,
Yes.
It's kind of a cool thing, I think, because of course, like they're kind of rewarding you for that thing, but also from the outside, like not a lot of people know the difference between like a gold button versus a silver button, so it doesn't really matter that much, but it's something that's there that's offered.
It's kind, there's a book called The Power of Moments, and it's all about creating milestones that people then shoot for. So it's like, why is a 5K even a big deal to people? And it's just because you've given them something to shoot their sights on. And it's the same thing with like, your Fitbit that has 10,000 steps, like you just might go walk an extra time around the block to get to that 10,000. And so I think it's smart of them to try,
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there any difference on Instagram? There's a difference between like business and personal. And then of course, Facebook has pages versus profiles. Is there anything like that on YouTube?
There's not. The YouTube channel is based on whatever your like Gmail account is. So that could be like a personal @gmail.com account, or that could be like a G Suite account that has your own personal. So I have mine at readysetlifecoach.com, and that's like a business Gmail, but it's not necessarily anything to do with the actual channel.
Got it. Okay. Any tips on monetizing? And I know this is a beginner video on how to start using YouTube and how to begin publishing videos and all of that, but anything that you want to share as far as like what you know about monetizing at this point, or any small tips or things to consider?
Yeah. So I'm not monetized yet, so I don't really have like all of the tips and tricks on this. But again, it's that 1,000 subscribers and that 4,000 hours of watch time. So that's kind of like the first milestone to hit, because before you even hit that, you can't get monetized by YouTube at all.
Sure. Okay.
However, there's other ways that you can monetize your videos apart from AdSense, and that's what like YouTube pays you.
Got it.
Which you don't really get a lot of money from AdSense anyway. So it's a nice additional, but it's not really like, it's not going to be your full-time income.
Sure.
But there are other ways to monetize apart from that, including affiliate links. So actually, I think I'm at 213 subscribers or something like that. And I actually was reached out to by an affiliate like umbrella that works with different financial companies here in Canada, like the big banks and stuff like that, and offered me an affiliate spot. So now I have things on the bottom of my videos for companies that I actually use and pay for. There's other companies that they work with, but I didn't do those ones. But it's a way that that you can actually get something out of that without having that specific monetizing of the YouTube monetization, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, because there is the YouTube monetization, but then there's also just affiliates or, other types of ads that you can be getting paid for.
Yes, and sponsorships as well. So I'm making videos about like credit scores, and in that I mentioned like credit companies that like monitor your credit score for free. So I could partner with those people and like do some sort of thing like that.
I love it. Okay, great. Any other tips for a financial coach who wants to use YouTube or get started with YouTube? Any other advice?
I think just kind of like taking it back and saying like, relax a little bit. Like, I know we just went through like an hour and a bit of like the complication or like how to like the details of it, but like really you can just film yourself. You don't even have to edit the video, just film yourself saying something and put it up and see what happens. You don't have to make it super complicated. Yes, there's ways to optimize it that might be a little bit better, but just start with where you're at, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you said that. I actually have, from probably 4 or 5 years ago, some videos on YouTube. And I mean, I look very different. I sound very different. I definitely was not as comfortable on video as I am now. And, people will say to me, I can't tell you how many people, first of all, find me through YouTube. It's kind of crazy. And I only have a few, like 3 or 4 videos. But I will say too, that people who meet me now, they're like, oh my God, your videos are so different now than what they used to be. And I don't take that, I don't take offense to that. I have pride in that. To me, that is like, I know, isn't it crazy? Isn't it cool to see how far you can grow just by practicing and just by gaining experience? Like, we don't delete them. I'm not ashamed of them. I'm not embarrassed by them. It's, to me, a source of pride of like, look how far, we can go just by practicing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you for making that point. I'm so glad you did. So I want to end simply by giving you guys some links. So just a reminder, Brittany's YouTube channel is youtube.com/C/Ready Set Life. We will provide a link to that, and we will provide a link to her website, which is readysetlifecoach.com.
Okay. Yes, Ready Set Life is like $3,000, so I'm not about that.
Yeah, we're not. Ready Set Life Coach is
it's available, but it's way too expensive for me.
Ready Set Life Coach is amazing. I love it.com. And then some of the links to the apps and things that you recommended, we'll post some notes in that. Thank you. I would like to ask everybody that if you've got questions for Brittany, post them as comments. That way she can answer a question one time versus like if you have the question, it's likely somebody else does too. So hitting her up through private message, while she may not mind, it also is not super efficient. And we all want to learn together. That's the purpose of Financial Coaches Unite, is that we're all in this together. So please post your questions for her as a comment so she can answer. She has graciously offered to answer your questions. And just thank you so much, Brittany, for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us, because Lord knows I wasn't going to be able to tell them how to do YouTube. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed sharing my knowledge that I have. So
you are a natural on video. I have no idea why, but you are. No, I'm just kidding. You practice often, I'm sure. So right here.